Hi everyone! Today we'll be running through the top 10 exam mistakes made in English exams and some tips to avoid them. The first big and most common mistake made is misreading the question. Ensure you read the question more than once to avoid misreading anything. It can also help to underline key words, for example, a specific theme or character which the question is about. This will also help you get a better understanding of the question. In connection to that, the second mistake to avoid making is only answering part of the question. Sometimes questions can be made up of two parts. For example, this exam question on Macbeth is asking you to refer to the extract attached to it, as well as the whole play. Therefore, make sure you are engaging with the whole question and not just part of it. Now on to number 3. This is to make sure you're using relevant quotes when writing your responses. This is the key to keeping your paragraph points and explanations in focus. In this example exam question, they are asking us to discuss how the writer uses language to describe Yugu's impression of the city. I have highlighted an example quote which we can use in green. Number 4 is to ensure you are analysing quotes to the best of your ability before moving on in the exam. For example, looking at the quote we just saw in the previous passage, "Streets so smooth." It is important to note that this is a simile, which emphasises how clean and evenly polished the streets of the city are. This tells the reader that Yugu has a very positive impression of the city. Two good points to also consider in your response are the impact this has on the reader and the writer's intention in using a particular language technique. Also, look for any words to zoom in on to make sure you cover AO2. For more details on how to do this, make sure to watch my video linked below on peel paragraphs. Leading on from number 4, number 5 is to go into detail correctly in your responses. Now, the reason I say correctly is so you don't risk going on a tangent in your writing. Use the bullet points given under the question as guidance to help you stay on track, and they also make sure you cover all the points which the examiners are looking for. Also, make sure to keep an eye on how many marks the question is worth, and make sure you're practicing your paragraph structure to keep in line with the question. Now on to number 6, time management. Writing in exam conditions can be really overwhelming. Try to practice writing responses in timed conditions as much as you can before your exam. This will train you to think quickly, organise your ideas efficiently, and express them clearly under pressure, which is exactly the skill you'll need for the exam. When you do get to the actual exam, make sure to keep a brief eye on the time throughout, but don't spend too much time clock watching and miss out. Number 7. Make sure you are confident using certain types of punctuation, like colons and semicolons. Also, do lots of writing practice and ask somebody to check through your work to ensure you're doing this correctly. Dedicating a few minutes at the end of your exam will help you avoid any punctuation and grammar errors. Number 8. Demonstrating knowledge of context. The key to doing this is to include it coherently in your paragraphs. Always avoid putting all the context into one big paragraph. Instead, ensure to work it through in your explanations and make sure it is relevant to the point you're discussing. Now on to number 9. Remember to use the peel paragraph structure as your guideline. This way, even if you do sway away from your original point, it will center your response back in focus. Make sure to practice peel paragraphs as much as possible. Again, if you do find you struggle with paragraph structure, make sure to check out my video linked below. And finally, number 10, proofreading. Ensure you leave yourself a few extra minutes at the end of the exam to proofread your work and check for any grammar or spelling mistakes. I hope this video helped you feel more confident about your exams. If you have any extra tips or mistakes to avoid, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for more exam tips.